Hey guys, what's up? We are back, and today we are going to dive into the Lumineers' brand new album, Brightside. For those of you guys that watch my channel, mwah, love you, welcome back. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Dano. I'm a singer-songwriter from Asbury Park, New Jersey. And the whole reason that I started this channel was because the best way to learn how to be a better songwriter is to listen to other songwriters. So I'm doing that in my own journey to be a better songwriter, and I thought, why not share it with you guys and we could do it together. And I know that there's so much that I can learn from you guys. Believe it or not, the only time I've listened to the Lumineers is when they're on the radio. I've never sat down and actually listened to an album front to back and heard all their songs in a row and kind of did a more in-depth analysis. So if you are a die-hard Lumineers fan, please let me know in the comments things that I missed, maybe things I didn't pick up on, maybe some differences between this album and some of their earlier work. So anyway, I want this to be a conversation so we can all chat, talk, learn, and grow from each other. Mwah. All right. Believe it or not, I've only had half a cup of coffee today. But anyway, that's enough of me chit-chatting. Let's get right down to it. This album is short and sweet. There's only 9 songs on it, so it shouldn't take too long. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen. In all capital letters, we have Brightside. So if you watch my channel, you probably hear this all the time, but I just want to point it out because it's that common. You had your very typical intro where you start with one instrument and then layer on another after that. So we started with the drums and then the distorted guitar came in. I'm just pointing it out because even though it's really simple, when I sit down to write a song, I'm like, how do I want my song to start? And just to know that that's a common way to start a song is just really helpful as a writer. So that's why I mention it, even though it's nothing fancy. So yeah, I love the lyrics here. I love the description in the lyrics. Sometimes when we add specificity, so a very specific lyric, it really helps the listener kind of transport into whatever scene the artist is trying to convey. So the specificity here was, you were blowing in your hands, the heater broke in the Oldsmobile. So the Oldsmobile being the specific thing. If he just sang the heater broke in the car, it wouldn't hit as home as much as heater broke in the Oldsmobile. So I love throwing in something very specific every now and then. It kind of really helps paint that picture. I was straight in the bed. You stood to the side of the hotel. All right, so I'm gonna stop there again, just to talk about the song structure. When I sit down to write a song, the song structure is one of the first things I think about, and I used to think you just had to do verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and that was the method, but it's not. You really can do anything, so I love just hearing some ideas from other artists, and here we have 2 verses right in a row before we even get to a chorus. So I love that a lot. If you really want to just extend that to kind of, I don't know, add a little bit of suspense as we're waiting to get to the chorus, or maybe you just need more time to set the scene for your listener. So yeah, having the double verse up front is a good structure idea. Wow, okay, so the Lumineers is just teaching me so much about songwriting here. Okay, so another great thing that they're doing is repetition. So there are 100 million ways that you can have repetition, but repetition is a really, really great tool to keep your song something that your listeners are able to understand. And the repetition here is actually kind of subtle, but it's the second to last line in the verse is the same. So in verse 1, it's, and the light in your eyes alone in the freeway. And then the last lines for the verse 2 is, and the light in your eyes, the waves on the ceiling. So it's really cool, especially because that repetition is kind of so far away from the first verse. And it's really nice. It's like a thread that holds it all together. So absolutely love that use of repetition here. I'll be on the right side, baby, tonight. I'll be tonight. Again, we've got repetition in the chorus. We've got the one-line chorus. We hear that all the time. I'll be your bright side, baby, tonight, repeated twice, and then tonight is repeated again. So lots of repetition. We love it as listeners because it allows us to be able to sing along, and we want to feel the music too. All right, nice. So I also want to talk about song structure there. So I almost never write post-choruses in my own writing, so that's why I want to highlight this here because it's such a great idea that I definitely need to apply to my own songwriting. We know the function of a bridge, we're really familiar with that, we hear it in basically every single song, but instead of a bridge, you can also do a post-chorus. And so whereas a bridge almost feels like an entirely unique section, you know, whereas your verses are A, your choruses are B, and you repeat A, B, A, B, the bridge would be C. It would be a C section, like completely different from the rest of the music. But a post-chorus is kind of a variation on the chorus. And so it kind of ties the elements of the bridge with the elements that we already know for the chorus. So we hear that exactly in the post-chorus because there's the new lines, you're stranded on the bridge, you're crying for your kids with a new melody, but then we get the chorus line again, I'll be your bright side baby tonight. So that makes it a post-chorus instead of a bridge. And I love that because it just ties in that chorus and it creates like a really fun structure. Yeah, that's like not a little something more exciting than your typical A, B, A, B, C, B song structure. So I love the instrumental part. Actually, it goes on through the whole song like this, but something that we love as listeners is tension and release, and that's exactly what the instrumentals are doing throughout the whole song. So it's like release, ba, ba, a little more tension, ba, a lot more tension, ba, less tension, ba. So it like the whole song goes like this with tension and release, and we love that shit as listeners. We just eat it up. So anyway, that's a really cool thing that they're doing here. I promise I won't talk this much in the other songs. Actually, I can't make that promise because I haven't heard them yet, but sorry, not sorry. Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that I'm doing this. By the way, the reason that I'm doing this album reaction is because you guys voted for it if you're friends with me on Instagram. So come be my friend on Instagram because you can have some say in what some of the reaction videos will be. And I'm so glad. Oh my gosh, I really like that song a lot. So simple, so sweet. And I'm hearing a lot of like Bruce Springsteen vibes. They must be an influence for them. But okay, let's move right along. Up next we have AM radio. I love a sweet guitar, acoustic guitar intro. If the final chapter is it ever read? So I just want to pause a minute because already, what is this, like a minute into the song, it's just so unbelievably beautiful. And I want to give like everyone hope who's not like a super well-trained, fancy producer or vocalist or instrumentalist, because the only job of a musician is to connect with the listener. And that's exactly what the Lumineers are doing here. And I say that you don't have to be fancy because all this is an acoustic guitar. So if you play acoustic guitar and you can sing, then you got this. I also want to mention that Wesley's pitch isn't 100% on the note. It sounds very much like a live track. Most contemporary music is tuned, so even if it's not auto-tuned, they do just, you know, slightly adjust them so that they're like perfectly in tune, and that's very common in pop. So if you're a pop artist, you probably want to do that, but this is a folk genre, so I think that the Lumineers are going for a more natural sound, a more authentic sound, and that's definitely coming through here. And so I just bring that up because making decisions like if you're going to have tuning on your vocals or not is a stylistic choice. One is not good, one is not bad. It is a stylistic choice, and it should be a choice that you're making. So if you're making folk music and you don't want it to be perfect, then that's great. But if you're making pop music and you're like, I do want it to be perfect, just know there's no harm in using tuning. I do it all the time for my own. But sometimes you don't want tuning, and that has to be a stylistic choice. So, you know, if I'm writing a song and I want it to be really intimate, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm on a piano that's not perfectly in tune and I'm just singing my heart out, that is still an absolutely beautiful, beautiful song idea. So it doesn't always have to be perfect and polished. So just wanted to say that. All right, let's keep listening to this gorgeous song.
Long as you ride, I could give you up.
Again, we've got repetition in the chorus. This is a two-line repeater. Long as you run, I couldn't give you up. Forever run, I couldn't give you up. We love repetition. Okay, so that's cool too. So you hear that little theme? Ba, 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 ba. So that was originally, I think, on the guitar. Then they layered a guitar and piano, and now they come back with like a more distorted guitar. So I love that they're keeping that little melodic theme in there. I always forget to have fun instrumental parts when I do my own music. So I'm especially listening for some fun things that I can throw in my own instrumental parts. Classic fade out ending, let's go. Yes, I love it. I love it so much. And one of the reasons why I think I love it so much is the beat is kind of like this slow ba, 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 ba. And the music is kind of powerful, and it just makes you want to put your hands in the air like, yes! Like, I'm sure going to their concerts would be such a blast. And I love that in the album cover, they literally have a hand in the air. So I don't know if they were like going for that vibe or whatnot. But yeah, I'm listening to this album and that's just what I want to do. Hand in the air, rocking out, getting lost in the music. Mwah, beautiful. All right, let's keep rolling along. Up next, we have Where We Are.
Where we are, I don't know where we are, but it will be okay.
So since we're talking about song structure today, this is a great example of starting a song with a chorus, something that I don't do enough because it really is a fun way to start a song. It was stripped. My guess is that when the chorus comes in later on, there's going to be a lot more stuff underneath, so you have some variation between that chorus and the other ones. But anyway, just wanted to point that out. All right, let's keep going.
Laying on the table like I wasn't even there. Holding me like it wasn't even fair. What was that? Driving in the rain. What was that?
Again, we have that same repetition at the end of each verse. What was that? Driving in the rain. What was that? Calling out your name. I also love, I believe it's called prosody, when the words match what's happening sonically. And so you have what was that? And the way he's singing it is kind of like, what was that? And so I love that that's a choice that they made for the song. It wouldn't have hit the same way if it was just like, what was that? It was like, what was that? So anyway, I love that.
Where we are, I don't know where we are, but it will be okay. I don't know where we are, but it will be.
So I just wanted to stop right there because we have a great example of contrast happening. Again, in this chorus, we got lots of repetition. It's repeating over and over and over again. And one of the ways to keep it interesting is to change it up, even though we're repeating it. And so they do that by dropping out the instruments and just having them kind of like bump, bump on the one note. That's right, bump is a musical term, by the way. Just kidding. But anyway, they're just like bumping on the chords instead of having that like actual instrumental part underneath. Ah! Oops. So that's a great way to have some contrast, especially if you're repeating a part over and over and over again. Oh, that's the end of the song. Yeah, so what a perfect time to throw that in there then on the last time it repeats. And another cool thing I want to mention is, if you remember, that's exactly how the song started. And I love when the songs start and end the same way. It's like completing a circle. Like, you know, I don't know. I just love it. I love that so much. But anyway, let's keep moving. Up next, we have Birthday.
I didn't know I was the only thing you saw. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's your birthday. Over and over, I can only scream so loud.
So this is a really great example of contrast. We need contrast, otherwise we get bored as listeners. And so in the chorus, we have all these instruments, the drums, it's feeling like upbeat and whatnot, and then it kind of scales back and pulls back for the verse, and then you just have that acoustic guitar strum. So that's a really great way to have some contrast. I always say this, but if you're making an arrangement or you're playing a song with your band and every instrument is playing the whole time from front to back, I would take a look at your arrangement and make sure that all those decisions are thoughtful and not just because you didn't really think about what parts everyone should be playing. And a really great way to increase energy or pull energy back is just by adding or subtracting instruments. So anyway, let's keep going.
But you ignore me. It's your birthday. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's your birthday. It's alright.
I love key changes. They're my favorite thing of all time. Yeah, so okay. This is a great point to stop because a great way to make your song interesting is to surprise your listener. We love stuff like that. We thought the song was over. They literally put clapping in it. It sounded like the end. And no, not only is it not over, but we're going to play the chorus again, which is more upbeat, and we're going to take it up a key. Yes, I'm here for it. Let's go.
It's your birthday.
Another classic fade out ending. I really enjoyed that song. It was fun to listen to as a listener, and again, we had that repetition going on. They like to do repetition a lot, which is fantastic because even though I never heard that song before, I was like singing along by the time the song ended, and that is really great. We want our audience to sing along, right? But anyway, up next we've got Big Shot.
All the things you said to me, let's go away right now.
So I love that melody there. You know, one of the types of melodies are doing a descending melody. Whatever. And so that sounds really beautiful there. I love it. Some other melody options is you could do ascending, having it going up. You could do static where you're staying on one note, or you can have some leaps and jumps. But anyway, love that descending melody there. Just beautiful.
Everyone was in the band.
Ooh.
And I was on another planet. Whoa.
Sorry, I keep talking, but I also love how the variation in the melody between the first section and this section, I actually was expecting it to do the same thing and it didn't. So because it broke my expectation as a listener, it was a point where I was engaged. So we always want to break the expectation of our listeners.
Wanna be a big shot. You wanna be the big man. You wanna be a big shot. You wanna be the big man. You wanna be the big shot now. After all.
Yay, awesome. I really love that one. I actually love that one so much that I'm going to add it to my New Music You Should Care About playlist on Spotify. So if you don't want to miss any new music that comes out, it's personally curated, all the new music that I'm listening to. I'm also definitely going to add AM radio because I really like that song as well. But anyway, that's all I got. Up next is Never Really Mine.
Love was not designed for time. You never leave. Everyone's gonna leave it where you left. You're a woman on the run. Hey, don't you fade away. Hey, don't you fade away. Hey, don't you fade away.
So I am loving this bridge section right here. So first of all, we've got repetition, which we already know and love. We talked about that a lot so far in this video. But another really great purpose of repetition is it's not just so that your listener can remember it. Another great way that you can use repetition is almost like you're praying something. You're like, I don't know, a really important line that you're just like repeating over and over in your head, like you can't get it out of your head. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Don't you fade away. It's like, don't you fade away. It's almost like you're putting this huge plea out. And on top of that, whereas the instrumentals, it's growly, and the instrumentals are constantly growing and building. So you're increasing that tension until I know that at the end of this, it's just going to be like blah at the top. So I absolutely love that. What a really fantastic way that they wrote the song right here. it. Like, their songs are so jammy. Like, I don't know, I feel like I have to go to a Lumineers. I have to go to a Lumineers show now because I bet you it's insane. I've never been to a Lumineers show before. If you have, let me know because I feel like it would be amazing. All right, let's keep going. Up next, we have Roller Coaster. This is subtle, but I love that you can hear the like the piano pads hitting the string. It just, you know, proves that it's an acoustically recorded piece. I mean, I guess you can put them in using a sample or whatnot, but I love that sound. You know, I kind of, when I record my own music, I do it at home, so it like all goes right into my DAW, and so sometimes I lose that. So I'm kind of thinking about, for some of my music, actually going to a real studio to record like on a real piano so that you can pick up those tiny little things that just don't come across as well in MIDI. But you know, it all depends, because if you're a producer and you're making beats at home, like really there's so much incredible things that you can do right in Logic or Pro Tools or whatever you use. But I don't know, nothing beats that authentic sound. So if you could get that sometimes, if you can, yeah, I'm just loving it. I also just love this piano sound. It's very dark sounding, and it's not like bright and pingy. So yeah, it's creating a vibe that I'm totally here for.
Sitting on a roller coaster, holding on for dear life. I know what is already gone.
The simplicity of not only this song, but the whole album, but especially this song, the simplicity is just absolutely beautiful. I feel like it's so hard to do a simple song well, and that really is due to the songwriting, it's due to the lyrics, the instrument choices, and also the energy and the emotions that you're able to convey. So I'm just digging the simplicity so much.
Making all the plans for late. I knew you were already gone.
So I don't know if you caught that there, but the chorus is an example of ascending melody lines. Da, 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 da. So anyway, love that.
Everyone was wrong, they were on the ledge. Everyone was only dying.
They got me on that one. I love it. If you watch my channel, you know I point this out almost every time I hear it because I love it so much. But I love when the instrumentals mirror the vocals, and so you have the piano part playing the melody. I don't know why I love it so much. I just do, and that's what they did there. Let's just rewind this so you can hear real quick. Wow. I love that one so much. I'm adding it to the New Music You Should Care About playlist right now. Add to playlist. There we go. It's done. That one was really powerful. I feel like I need to listen to it again, like with my eyes closed, like alone, because that was really, really beautiful. All right, we have 2 songs left. Up next is Remington. Ooh, this is the first time we have a different drum sound. Yeah, I like that one. Again, it's very simple. That's kind of like the Lumineers vibe, and I love it. So the only other thing that I want to mention is about the song structure. And so you have the verse, the bridge, the verse, and then the refrain. So a lot of artists are doing song structures like this where I don't know if these song structures have like a name, but I'm gonna call it like a storytelling song structure where it doesn't always come back and like repeat sections again. It really does just kind of go from left to right and tells a story that way. So I think in the Weeknd album reaction, which by the way I did, make sure you check it out. I love that album. But they did that a lot where it was like some structures were just like a long verse and it just just like told the story from the beginning of the song to the end. So yeah, I like that. I love when there's like some creativity and some differentiation in the music. But anyway, we have one song left. If you made it this far in the video, mwah, I love you. You are literally the best. And for those of you guys that know, I recently quit my 9-to-5 job to pursue music full time. Woo woo! But that means that your girl has some bills to pay now. So if you are interested in purchasing this on vinyl, I have an affiliate link below. So please make sure to check that out. And I do also accept tips on Venmo if you're interested, but no obligation, of course. And another great way to help is just by liking and subscribing. It really does help my channel reach a wider audience, and I am so grateful for you for doing that. But anyway, let's bring it home with the last song, Reprise, which maybe is like a reprise of all the music that we've heard today. Let's see. So there we have it. Reprise basically means like a repeated thing in the music. And so we have the lyrics, The Brightside, which is the name of the album and also the very first song we heard. So it's nice having the reprise at the end that gives that reference. It's a really cool thing that kind of ties the whole album together. So I love that. Baby, tonight, way too young to die. And since I've talked about melody so much in this video, why not keep doing that? So here we have a combination of the ascending and descending melodies used together. So it's da 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 da. So you got ascending, ascending, descending. So anyway, I love that. I just love pointing out the different melody ideas so that when I sit down at my piano and I go to write, I can be like, oh, the Lumineers had a chorus where they had an ascending melody, and then a descending melody. Should I try to do something similar to that? And then so that even though the melody will be completely different because it's in a different song, it just helps like having ideas that you can pull from instead of trying to start from scratch, which is very painful. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm headed for the lights. Waiting on the sun. I'm waiting on the sun. I'm waiting on the sun tonight. I'm headed for the lights. I'm headed for the lights. Yay! Oh my gosh, I love that song so much. I love this album so much. If I had to describe this album like overall, I'd say it's very simple. You know, you don't have anything too complex going on. It's easy to sing along to. There's lots and lots of repetition. And also it's an album that makes you want to throw your hands up in the air and kind of sway like this. And I think part of the reason they're able to execute that is because the drums and the rhythm are like bum, bum, but there's not a lot of like syncopation going on, which would make you want to like dance a little bit. It just is simple and makes you just sway like this. It's feel good. I love it. But anyway, that is all I got for you today. I just want to end this video like I end all my videos. Just remember to trust yourself, be yourself, love yourself. You got this. Mwah! I love you guys and I'll see you next time.